So, if you're watching this, you're obviously here for Forza and the new update. It's over drifting. I made a drifting video, kind of like a tutorial over how to set up a car, drifting and all that, probably when the game released. Similar concept slash issue is that, I've kind of stepped away from this game and I play it every once in a while. But a lot of the content I'm seeing online is kind of misleading, and kind of wanted to inform some of the Forza community of what's happening and where kind of Forza Motorsports as a game is at. So I'm not going to be brushing over every single thing in this video about the Forza Drift update, but I'm kind of going to address some of the issues that I think are kind of, what's the word, blown out of proportion. So mainly, it would be the drifting points is what I see a lot of hate about, and I understand where a lot of people are coming from, but it's kind of expected, so I don't know why people are hating on it so much. So I come from, Forza 2 and up. I've played this game hundreds of hours on it. I want to say at least 1,000 over multiple of them. And off the bat, let's just put this out there: the point system sucks. Okay, that's understood. But the point system was never really good to begin with. Whether it be the angle, speed, your line, like all three of those in the past Forzas, it's always been like that. So say, this isn't going to be accurate, but say Nissan with 350Z put something ridiculous on the car on the past, let's say 5 generations. And then on the 6th generation, they put that same thing on and people start hating it. Almost for no reason. It's expected, so, I mean, nothing really more to say about that. No Forza open drift lobbies just yet, and I think we are a big community in Forza, and I think they've kind of mistreated that community or kind of turned a blind eye. They didn't even give any updates or anything like that. They said, hey, we'll bring it, we don't know when, but it'll be there at some point. And kind of how the game released, which I'm okay with and not okay with at the same time. I couldn't care, but they didn't really release the whole drift update. So that's another thing. I think there's a couple areas that I would agree with, but I don't think I would complain about it too hard. By now you should know if a game releases and it's not fully 100% the game that you're supposed to be given and that they're going to be doing future updates. It's similar to the drifting points, it's expected. What else are you gonna do besides complain? Most of the time, I do want to say those complaints on social media and whatnot are just, most of the time people probably will just find you annoying. I mean, you're just complaining on social media, but that's you. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your own life. Just wanted to say that most of these points are kind of out of pocket. It's expected. For Turn 10 hasn't ever really done too much special stuff for the drift community, so you get what you get. I think one of my takeaways is the speed thing, and even that I can live with. So in open lobbies, I actually go for points. I don't usually tandem. The main reason is most of the players are going absurdly fast, 100 miles per hour plus, and to me that just isn't really, I hate to say realistic, but it's not really realistic. Before people start throwing something, or whoever is listening to this, I have done a number of events IRL and drifting. I don't just have some trash car. I've had two pretty good cars to drift in. I had an E46 M3 that received the whole makeover, and then I had another car with a fully built 2JZ in it, making around 600 horsepower. So let's throw that in there. Okay, even the most competitive events in IRL, pro amateur, that's when you reach like the 70 to 80 miles per hour around the turns. The car I'm driving, actually not this one, I had to drop it down for A grade, but my A86 that I typically drive is 800 horsepower, and I usually stay within 6 miles per hour. I say that now, but I'm doing a hot entry, so ignore that. The only time you'll see me really go over like an absurd amount of speed is usually entries or straightaways at the start, just to gain a hold chain so you don't have to manji. Which I will say, you didn't know, manjing isn't the best way to get points in the game. You kind of want to not manji. So I actually explained, a lot of people manji on this upcoming straight after this first corner right here. So they'll go into right now, and then they'll manji to the left and then manji back to the right. Whereas you can keep that whole turn, even with a car with like 500 horsepower, and maintain it. So that's that. Trying to think where I just left off with. Went on to kind of mansplaining how to drift a straight. Basically, everyone's opinion over the matter. You know, everyone's justified to have their own opinion, but I think it's more headed on than what it is. Like, you can get mad at them, but you know, at the end of the day, it was kind of noticeable that they weren't going to be on top of it when it came to the drifting mechanics of Forza. I guess I'll move past that. I think, yes, the point system sucks, but it's a given. The open lobbies aren't there. That's really the only thing that people, I think, should be able to be griping about, but that's just me. Oh, that's where I was at. Open lobbies, going slow. But yeah. So I actually go slow, and a lot of people get mad at me for it. And the lobbies, I go like 60 miles per hour. And the funny thing is, it's not really funny, but you'll see a lot of people that are going really fast, around like 100 around these corners. You know, they actually do. I've seen so many people tandem brave about high speeds, but there's a lot of give and play. You know, they're never like on their door consistently. There might be some people, you know, there are. But the majority of the time, even some of the best drivers I've seen on Forza, that's kind of cringe saying that. But yeah, some of the best players on Forza in the drift community, they can do that. But all the rest kind of giving them play. Whereas me and my buddy and a couple of my friends, you know, we have high horsepower cars, but we have tunes on it. We can stay on the doors nonstop because we're kind of like the lead driver is supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to kind of expect his movements and the style and all that. So that's that. I will say with this new thing, so I've been doing a lot of the rivals, as you can see, and not trying to like toot my own horn or anything, but it's doable. I'm not the greatest drifter. I've done it a lot in Forza, and you know, a lot of my times that on the rivals are like top 50, I think I got one that was top 26. And I guess now I'll lead into, you know, what you can expect with, you know, rivals and drifting and all these new things. You really want to not do just a upgraded car. First off, you want to find a car, because it's a different leveling system. You can't really buy your way into these cars. You want to find a car that suits you. You can even find a car that is the craziest drift car. It all comes down to tune. I've done LFGs looking for groups where, you know, guys come in here and they're like, I just have my car fully upgraded, and they'll drift pretty good, but you can tell they can't do some of the things that some of us are doing with tunes, because their car isn't really built up properly. And I know it can get intimidating, but one of my highest recommendations, which I say in another video, is, you know, figure out how to do tunes, get a tune. It helps so much. Other things about Forza Drift Rivals is don't focus on, you know, other people and where you place and everything. I see it as like, I want to do better than I did previously, and that's basically what I do. I had to turn the rival off because I was getting hit with too much smoke, but I just want to see how far I can do, like what's my limit, and that's kind of how I see it as. And you know, you can push for, you know, I want to be the top and want to be in the top 10. That's great. And it might sound like I'm just saying that because, you know, you might think, oh well, this guy can't get in the top 10, so of course he's just gonna say let's do it the best you can. But I think, you know, it's a casual game, casual sim game, so just keep it that way. I feel like that's all the notes. I've done drift builds and I've dropped videos, and I have a lot of downloads on those, but a lot of YouTubers which I've seen in the past, which is the reason I make some of these uh, videos, explanations and whatnot, is it's kind of misleading, misinforming, and some of the things you see on the internet. Yeah, there's a lot of things to hate on, but it's a game at the end of the day, and it's pretty solid. And there's some things to gripe about, but I think this is a step in the right direction. And if it stays there, then you know that's that. So yeah, thanks, and would love to hear your guys' feedback.